Hello friends, this is Normal here for Technique, and in this video we're going to compare two mid-range phones, the Samsung Galaxy J7 Pro with the Xiaomi Redmi Note 4. So while these two devices are in two different categories, we have the J7 Pro priced 2900, that's over 20,000 in India, while the Redmi Note 4 is priced 13,000 in India. We have the top end variant that is having 4GB RAM and 64GB internal storage. So in this video, we'll look all the aspects of these two devices and see which is the better offering and which is the better value for money device out there. So let's start off the detailed comparison with design and build quality. So design wise, you can see both these devices are metal unibody construction, which looks pretty premium for the pricing it is offered. The Samsung Galaxy J7 Pro has a completely new design and it's the best looking J series phone ever, while the Redmi Note 4 is an upgrade over the Redmi Note 3 in terms of the design with the tapered edges, and it feels quite good looking as well. But in our opinion, we would say the Samsung Galaxy J7 Pro is slightly premium looking device with rounded corners and tapered edges, and it feels pretty solid and looks good as well. But the Redmi Note 4 also is a quite good looking device out there with decent build quality and metallic construction. Now looking at the other design aspects, there is a fingerprint scan on the rear panel on the Redmi Note 4, while it's on the front panel on the Samsung Galaxy J7 Pro. Now other than that, almost everything remains the same. We have a physical home button on the J7 Pro, while we have the capacitive touch buttons on the Redmi Note 4. So that is the design aspect of these two phones. Now let's talk about the display. So we have a 5.5-inch Full HD display on these two devices. That's a 1080p resolution displays. We have a Super AMOLED panel on the Samsung Galaxy J7 Pro, while it's an IPS LCD panel on the Redmi Note 4. Being a Super AMOLED panel, the color quality and sharpness levels are really good on the J7 Pro when compared to the Redmi Note 4. The viewing angles are quite good on both these devices, but overall for the color quality, we would say the Samsung Galaxy J7 Pro has an edge in terms of the display performance. Now both the phones have 2.5D curved glass, neither of them offer any added protection. We have a toughened glass on the Redmi Note 4, while nothing is being provided on the Samsung Galaxy J7 Pro. So that was the display aspect. Now let's talk about the software. So we have two different UIs, custom UIs. Now we have the latest Samsung UI, the TouchWiz UI, which comes with a new interface. You can see if you go to settings panel, it has this new UI, and it does come with some really good options and tools, locking and masking apps. Multi-window support is there, easy mode, dual messenger wherein you can run two instances of the same app, panic mode, then there is easy mode, then there is also Samsung's core apps like secure folder, S secure mode, then Samsung's S Health app is included, voice recorder, then there is also support for themes, and there is also Samsung Pay, which is a really useful feature. It's a wallet feature wherein you can add credit and debit cards and also add money. You can make payments via UPI. So these are some of the really useful features in the Samsung's UI. Now looking at the Redmi Note 4's UI, this runs on Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow, although there is a developer build available with Android 7.0, unlike the Samsung Galaxy J7 Pro, which runs on Android 7.0. Now the MIUI is also really good UI available with a customized home screen, multiple home screens. There is additional options and features included. A lot of customization options are there, additional features like second space, then there is also light mode, then you can also install multiple instances of the app with dual app support. There is support for themes, lot of tools and options are included. It's a really skinned UI. It does come with a lot of additional features and options. Now which UI is best? That's a really difficult choice because both these devices offer good experience overall. Both are custom UIs with lots of additional customization options. And if you want the latest version, that's Android 7.0, then you should be looking at the Samsung's J7 Pro. And if you want a Redmi Note 4 with Android 7.0, there is a developer build available right now, although the final OTA update has not been released yet. So you can also have a look at that version as well, so if you want the latest 7.0. So UI, we would leave it to our viewers to decide which is a better looking UI and which is loaded with features. Now let's talk about the performance. So we have the Samsung J7 Pro with Exynos 7870 octa-core chipset coupled with 3GB RAM and 64GB storage. While we have the Snapdragon 625 on the Redmi Note 4 with 4GB RAM and 64GB storage. While the Snapdragon 625 is powerful than the 7870 Exynos chipset on the J7 Pro, in terms of the daily performance, we would say both these devices are equally good, does the job pretty well, no lags whatsoever, and opening of the apps and multitasking and running in the background is almost similar in both these devices. So there is no major difference in terms of the performance, even though there is Snapdragon 625 on the Redmi Note 4. Now the gaming experience of these two phones again were pretty good with Full HD displays. They provided pretty good gaming experience overall with a lag-free experience, and here and there you could see some frame skips, but then it's not a really powerful devices, but then you could get some decent gaming experience overall. Now both the phones come with the dual SIM cards, 4G LTE, and we have a dedicated SD card on the J7 Pro, while it's a hybrid SIM card on the Redmi Note 4. Now the call quality and speaker performance looks quite good on both the phones, and there's hardly anything to complain in this segment. Now let's talk about the fingerprint scanner experience. Now both these devices have fingerprint scanners on different locations. Now we have it on the front panel on the J7 Pro, while it's on the rear panel on the Redmi Note 4. So we'll have a quick demo of the fingerprint scanner experience on both these devices. You could see that both are almost similar in terms of the experience, and it does the job pretty well. Now let's talk about the cameras. So here we have two different camera units. One is a 13 megapixel camera on the J7 Pro with f-stop 1.9, while it's another 13 megapixel camera with a dual LED flash, and on the front panel we have a 13 megapixel camera for the J7 Pro, while it's a 5 megapixel shooter on the Redmi Note 4. Now additionally, the J7 Pro also comes with front facing flash. Now the camera interface is again really good on both the phones. You can see they offer plethora of modes and options to choose, and does the job pretty well. Now let's have a look at the camera samples taken with these two devices. So here are the daylight shots captured with both the Redmi Note 4 as well as the Samsung Galaxy J7 Pro, and you could see that in some photos the J7 Pro performed slightly better, while in some cases the Redmi Note 4 was the winner. So there is no clear winner in terms of the daylight performance. Both these devices performed pretty well, and even the sharpness levels were quite decent on both these devices in terms of the daylight experience. So colors were slightly better on the Redmi Note 4, but then the J7 Pro also produced some really good colors in certain situations. Now let's have a look at the low light images taken. Here we would say the J7 Pro is definitely the winner, because with f-stop 1.7 it allows more light to enter, and that's where the low light experience was better on the J7 Pro. Now looking at the selfie camera, again we would say the J7 Pro is a better selfie camera out there with a LED flash for the selfies and produces some really good selfies. The Redmi Note 4 also provides 4K video recording, but overall in terms of the camera aspect, our choice would be the J7 Pro, because it has better low light experience, better selfie, and overall a quite decent camera in this price segment. Now additionally, the Samsung Galaxy J7 Pro, as I said before, comes with Samsung Pay support, while on the other hand Redmi Note 4 has an advantage that it comes with IR Blaster, wherein you can control the phone, you can control AC, TV, etc. using the phone as a remote. Now finally, let's talk about the battery performance. So here we have 3600 mAh battery on the J7 Pro, while it's a 4100 mAh battery on the Redmi Note 4. Both these devices comes with a pretty good battery life, but here we would say the Redmi Note 4 is a winner with additional capacity battery, and with Snapdragon 625 it's a real good battery performer. With Samsung Galaxy J7 Pro not far behind, it's definitely a good performer, but it will not beat the Redmi Note 4 in terms of the battery life. So now we have talked about almost all aspects of these two phones. So which is the better device to buy here? If you're looking for an affordable smartphone, without doubt the Redmi Note 4 is a better choice, because it starts at 9,999 and goes up to 12,999 for the 4GB RAM and 64GB internal storage. So almost like 8K difference between these two devices. So without doubt the Redmi Note 4 is a value for money device. But if you want a slightly more premium experience with the Super AMOLED panel, then a better design, the Samsung Pay account, so that's where, and also slightly better camera, so that's where the Samsung Galaxy J7 Pro comes in. It's quite a good J series phone out there, but then the pricing is slightly on the higher side. 2900, almost 21K is definitely a high price for the J7 Pro, but it definitely is a good overall package and the best device, best J series device till date. So we have to prioritize on which is important for you. If it is camera, go for the J7 Pro. If it is display and design, again J7 Pro. But if you want better battery and value for money aspect along with good software and a good processor, then the Redmi Note 4 makes sense. So you also get additional 1GB RAM on the Redmi Note 4 compared to the 3GB RAM on the J7 Pro. So if you're looking for a more affordable smartphone, definitely the Redmi Note 4 is a better choice here. So that's all guys with the detailed comparison of these two phones. Hope you like this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and also hit the red subscribe button for more videos. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.